Check, check. Check, check. 1 2 1 2. Hey guys, I'm just recording this video. Well, not really recording, I'm just recording my voice. It's going to be pretty raw. I'm not going to edit too much. By now, I probably don't even have a name for my channel, but whatever pops up, it's going to pop up. I'm getting on here to kind of just get into some things that I feel like we need to talk about uh, as a society, if you will. Like, we're so clinically online, we're so disconnected that it feels kind of weird to talk about these normal things. Um, and I just want to start off with how many new people do you talk to a day? And just think about that. You know, you could be at work, school, stores, even just in your neighborhood. Like, how many new people do you talk to? And I'm not saying like you got to get to know this person or, ask about their day. Like, you know, how many new people do you talk to? And I'm gonna just go ahead and answer that question. I talk to at least 5 new people a day. Whether I be at the store or whether I'm at work, and just to, right off the bat, I'm an exterminator. I do pest control work, and I'm out with clients, or I'll talk to somebody that's just coming up to me, ask a question about my job and what I provide, what kind of services does the company provide. But I do talk to new people every day. But how many new people do you talk to every day? And, you know, this kind of is going to lead me into the whole community thing. You know, why is community dying? Us as a society, we're letting it die. And there's this thing I've been loving to say. I've honestly, like, I've said it so many times. I sound like a broken record whenever I say it amongst my friends. And when I say friends, it's mainly my cousins. Those are the people I hang out with the most. I don't have that many friends outside of my family, to be honest. Whether that be my own fault. Um, I wouldn't say I'm the greatest friend, but I try keeping ties with everybody. But I digress. Why is community dying? We're letting it die. We're letting it slip through our hands. And it's crazy. It's crazy. We're so connected, we are disconnected. Just come on, listen to me. We're so connected, we're disconnected. We're one click away, we're one phone call away, we're one text away from everybody we know. Yet we hardly talk to everybody that we know. And it's kind of desensitizing. It's sad. It's not right. We're so self-conscious and we're so worried about this image that we just disconnect ourselves from everybody else. And let me ask you, why are you so concerned about your image, but there is nobody to keep your image up with? You want to be perceived a certain way. Who's going to perceive you a certain way? That random lady at Starbucks that you didn't decide to talk to, she's not going to perceive you a certain way. You want to probably make jokes and be like you're a nonchalant person, but she doesn't know that because you didn't even talk to them. Or your neighbor, you want to be perceived as a very kind individual. I used to take out my neighbor's trash whenever I would notice that they just leave it out. And at the time, I was living alone with an ex-girlfriend of mine, and I introduced myself to everybody, not everybody, just we lived in apartments, the person directly across me and people next to me. Like, I went ahead and introduced myself, and I'm a youngin' myself. I'm 23. This was the first time I had moved to a different city, and again, I thought it was the right thing. And of course, like any normal individual would go ahead and just, hey, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you. I just moved in. Um, I'll see you around. But with that said, how are these people going to perceive you if they don't even know the slightest about you? And that's your own fault. That is quite literally your own fault. Now, going back to community, I wouldn't say I was somebody who was always, if you will, pushing for community amongst my people, but it's also do your part. Do your part. Keep people together. whether that be your friends, your family, somebody you know that just walks the neighborhood. Like, there's nothing like just asking how somebody's day is. It could be as simple as mine was good, how was yours? Didn't do much. And then you can go into the basic ass, oh, how's the weather? You know? Like those adult conversations are okay to have. Small talk is okay because it ends up building up to something bigger than that. And I had been talking about it with my cousin Sammy. You guys will probably hear about him, whether I make more videos or not. But Sammy, he's a, I tell him, I love it about him, dude. I love it about him. He is such a big chatty bird, man. He is such a big chatty bird. He'll talk to anybody, anything that fucking walks, he'll talk to. But the thing is people know him. They know of him, not who he is, not what his interests are or what kind of food he likes, like nothing like that, but they just know of him. See, everybody doesn't have to be your friend. People are just acquaintances along the road, and it's okay to just know people because you never know what it'll end up being. And there's nothing like getting along with the people that you're kind of living amongst. You know, it's so easy to just go online and find somebody with similar interest, and it's so different because they're not amongst your community. They're not living the same life. And I'm not saying if you're living the most horrible, most treacherous, most difficult life ever. I'm not saying that. They don't have they are not going through exactly what you're going through. Everybody's unique. Everybody goes through their own experiences. But what I'm saying is that they're in the same vicinity as you. We are sharing the same space amongst each other. Why wouldn't you want to get to know that person? Why are they here? And, I'm not going to say I'm living the best life either, but I would go ahead and just ask, like, hey, like, scratch that. I'm not even gonna edit it out. You guys are gonna hear through it, but you hear what I'm saying? Like, these people are amongst you. You know, they're not one click away, one video away, one Reddit chat away, one Discord channel away. Like, no, these people are in the vicinity of you. So why wouldn't you want to get to know them? They might not be your demographic, if you will. You know, you might consider yourself, what's the word? Um, excuse me. I can't think of the word. You might consider yourself not fond of others, if you will. I'm gonna say it flat out. You might be, oh, there it is, prejudice. You know, your friends are only a certain group of people, whether that be Hispanic, white, um, whether the same sexual orientation as well. Like we all have our preferences, but that should not limit you. That should not limit you to the people that you talk to. There are so many different walks of life that are willing, and you should be willing to get to know each other, you know? And it just goes back to everything. It goes back to being on the phone, being so connected we're disconnected. Community is dying because we're letting it die. We're so caught up on our self-image that we're so afraid to be cringe, if you will. Like, I've said this thing since the beginning, and my ex-girlfriend used to say it too, and I caught on to it, but to be cringe is to be free. To be cringe is to be free. Be yourself. You know, whether that be your everyday life, the trends that you follow, the things that you do, be yourself. Don't worry about what others or how others perceive you because they don't actually know you. They do not actually know you. That's why it goes back to if you want to be perceived a certain way, then you have to have people around you. You have to have people that do not know you at all. And whether they perceive you in a good or bad way, it all comes down to them. See, they only know a glimpse of you But if they're willing to get to know you, that's a whole different story because again, that's when you can start conversating, explain yourself, and really show who you are instead. Like there's this thing I've been saying and I've been saying it for the longest and it, you know, between my cousins and I, like Sammy, I tell him especially because there is nothing cooler than having cool friends. Having cool friends and cool people around you is probably the best feeling ever. But then I have another cousin who is the opposite. He's cool. I love him to death. You know, I say now the nostalgia is probably keeping us together, but there isn't a lot about him that makes him cool. Yes, he's a cool person, but he's just like what the internet made everyone else be. He's following every trend. He listens to the same music. He likes the same things that everyone else likes. And it's kind of like, well, what's so cool about that? What's so special about that? Like, I'm not gonna toot my own horn and say that I have the most unique features about me. Like, I like certain things. I like boxing. I like running. I like video games, of course, and I love talking. I'm a social bird myself, and that's probably why I'm putting this video up. Like, I feel like somebody needs to hear this. But what makes you cool? Think about that. Are you different from anyone else? Do you think other people perceive you that way? Is it how you want to be perceived? And I'm going in a whole spiral, but this whole video was just to really talk about why community or how community is dying and how I really think like we need to get something going again. We as society need to get community living and breathing again. And it's so easy to feel that way in a world where we feel so congested. Everything is strangling you to death. And honestly, I tell everybody it's so easy to feel hopeless these days. And yeah, like I'm probably not one to keep everybody together, but I do my part. I try I try talking, man. And that's all you can really do these days, you know? Stand out in a crowd that's just black, you know? Be that little stain of white. It's so monotone these days, man. And everyone just seems like they're so caught up in their own lives, like they can't just like live a little bit, you know? There's this thing where I saw, and, I'm on social media. Well, I'm not on social media. I stay off of Instagram, but there was this video that's like, oh, we only live once. No, we live every day. So live life like it's your last, and it's so, so true. Um, I'm gonna leave it on this, and let's see. I'll leave it on this. Like going back to that last point of just living every day like it's your last. Life can slip away from you in an instant. Just this last Saturday, I was watching the UFC with my cousin and just a couple boys of ours. We had a really good time, and uh, while we're watching the fights, we get a text from my uncle. He's letting us know that one of his good friends had just recently passed away at the ripe age of 49, man. At the age 49, and you think about that as a 23-year-old, what? That's 26 years later. And 49 is young, man. 49 is young. Life can slip away from you so quick. So why live it in this bubble that everyone else is stuck in? Pop that bubble, talk to people, go out of your way, be a little uncomfortable. You're gonna go back home and be in the comfort of your bed at the end of the day. Come on. Like, it's worth just having a little conversation with the Starbucks lady, with a guy just walking down the street. You see a couple walking with their dogs, like, oh, I like your dogs, you know? Whether it's just a thanks or maybe go off of like, oh, what kind of breed is he? You know, like people appreciate that. People appreciate just talking amongst the people they're with. We're not forced to see these people every day, but we just have to cross paths with them every single day. So it's not gonna hurt you. People don't judge you, and if they do, fuck them. You know, I've lived this to where I don't fear judgment anymore. People don't know me. That that fucking lady that I happen to just jaywalk in front of doesn't know me. She probably got fucking mad at me or something. She probably had to slam on the brakes a little bit. My fault, you know? But she doesn't know me. Fuck them. Fuck everybody that just judges you right off the bat in an instant because they don't know who you really are. But if you don't let people get to know you, that's your own fault. You know, it's so easy to look down on your phone. It's so easy to just disconnect from reality. It's so easy to be uncomfortable and boom, instantly just scrolling your fucking calculator, your gallery. Nobody's texting your phone in that instant. Get off your phone. Talk to people. Build, not even build, but live amongst your community, man. Anyways, guys, um, we're gonna see where this takes me. I don't know if I'm gonna edit those little silent moments. I'll probably get better at doing everything. Like I said, I don't have a channel name just yet. Um, whether something's on there or not, or it's probably gonna be for a little bit. Um, I thank y'all for listening, and if you made it this far, click the like, comment for the algorithm. Most of all, it's so easy to just like stuff nowadays. Like, shoot a comment, man. Shoot a comment. Let me know if you feel the same way. Um, my I'll probably slap in a Discord or something at the end of a couple videos in, I'm just getting started. The whole point of this channel is to kind of just make a little corner of YouTube mine. Um, I see a lot of people get on here and they just talk as well, but we'll see where this takes me. This is my first video. It's about community. Whether it stayed on the track or not, I'll probably get better at it too. I kind of just got on my notebook and just got a little script going, but I feel like I didn't stay on it either. But that's what I also like. Not everything has to stay on a script. I think everything should be a little bit, raw, if you will. I'm recording this on my damn gaming headset, and I don't even know how the quality is gonna sound. But hey, I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.